Hi, I'm Darnell with Waylo Recipes, and this is my 30-day review of the Gourmia 8-Quart digital air fryer. Now, if you have not already seen it, please be sure to see the initial review of this cooker. That's where I do side-by-sides with other similar types of cookers. I do test cooks, I do measurements, I do temperature testing, all kinds of stuff. Anything that is not answered for you in this video is likely answered in the initial review, and I highly encourage you to check that out. Now, here in the 30-day review, what I do is I offer my thoughts and impressions after using the cooker for 30 days to give you an idea of how it's been for me using it for about a month, 30 days. And I don't use like a microwave. I use basically this cooker for all my cooking, reheating, whatever. It goes in the cooker that I'm using in this period. And so past 30 days, this has been it. And so I want to say, generally speaking, this is a decent basket air fryer. I guess I'm not going to say it's like the greatest or the worst, but it's decent. It's a decent, hold its own basket air fryer. And so I had no serious problems with it. And one thing that I do like about this compared to one that I was reviewing earlier is that the hot air all blows out the back. The intake is on the top here, and it's pretty simple as far as how the air goes in and out of it. Another one I was reviewing, the hot air some would come out on the bottoms here, and so it would heat the counter up some, which is really inconvenient. Don't have that issue with this one. The hot air comes out the back, and it has some intakes around the top. It's, you know, pretty simple and cool as far as how the airflow goes with it. And this cooker, even though it has no memory, it doesn't remember what you cooked last, it has a lot of presets and a lot of options with those presets, so you probably can select a preset and get close to what you want and then kind of adjust from there to exactly the time and temp that you want. But it's a pretty, I guess, feature-rich display is what I'm saying. And I say for basket air fryers, as far as the hotness level, some cookers I use are really hot, some tend to be cooler, you know, it just kind of depends on cookers. I've reviewed tens of them here on the channel. If you haven't seen the over 800 videos already here. Nobody sponsored a single one, pay for them with my own money. Nobody gives me any stuff. I don't want them to give me stuff. I want to stay independent, be able to speak my own voice without any thoughts of an influence. But as far as the hotness level, as I was saying, basically this cooker, as far as this basket air fryer, it's kind of a medium for basket air fryers. Basket air fryers are going to generally cook hotter than like air fryer ovens. I mean, that's just kind of a given. But this basket air fryer is kind of a medium for basket air fryers. It doesn't cook things like super duper hot, and it also doesn't come in super cool or, you know, undercooking things compared to what you desire. And something interesting about this basket air fryer is that inside, you notice that around here on the inside is plastic. With some other basket air fryers, you open them up, inside you see metal. It's a metal interior, so with metal it's going to hold the heat in better. And so some that have that metal interior might get a little hotter than something that has that plastic on the inside there, even though the basket itself is still metal. And so basically I wanted to say that the user interface, I've talked about that a little before, but I wanted to mention that it's very easy to understand the user interface, and since it has a lot of options, it gives you a whole lot of control over how the cook is going to go. And I basically go through all the features of the display in the initial review. I had no smoke issues with this cooker, so everything was all good in that regard. As far as the sound or noise level with this cooker, it's a little quieter than most basket air fryers, but still, it's a basket air fryer. And so it's audible when the fan's running. The fan runs on any function, so it's going to be loud, but even though it's loud and it's a basket air fryer kind of loud, it's not as bad as some others. There's some that are louder and more noticeable, but still it's a basket air fryer, so you're going to hear it, guaranteed. You're going to hear it. It's going to be kind of loud compared to, like, especially compared to an air fryer oven. I mean, those are going to be super quiet by comparison. As far as the evenness of the cooks, overall they were even. If you're going to cook like some big proteins like a big piece of chicken or fish, then you might want to flip it over. You know, if you're cooking like chicken breast or something like that, you might want to flip them over if you're concerned about wanting to have both sides have the same look. It can cook things on both sides without you flipping, but if you just want a Maillard reaction on both sides, then you'll probably want to flip things over. So now I want to talk about the functions that I used in this cooker, and I'll just talk about the ones I use. If I didn't use one, then I won't talk about it because I didn't use it. But air fry works well. I had no issues with the air fry. It also has a fries function, which is basically like air fry, but it defaults to like 400 degrees Fahrenheit for a less amount of time. I found that was a good way to get a jump start on making toast. Basically, I just hit that fries button, so 400 degrees, and I bring it down to like maybe 3 or 4 minutes for my almond flour whole wheat bread. That takes a little longer than regular white bread to toast, and had no issues doing that and making toast in the cooker. The seafood function works well. It's just kind of another air fry preset. The bake function works okay. And I found with baking, and I showed with the caloric 8-quart air fryer, how you can bake very effectively in basket air fryers and not get the tops overcooked. With this one, using that same method of using the kind of air fry bottom, I guess, trivet or rack in the bottom to kind of go over like a ramekin or something. With this one, the holes are bigger. The holes inside of this this thing here are bigger. This, you should call it trivet or rack, are bigger. And so since the holes are bigger than they are in something like the caloric, when you use that method for baking, things get a little browner on top than they would with something like the caloric, where that part is a lot, I guess it's doesn't have as big holes. So you still get, you want airflow. You don't want things totally blocked off, but you want it to be limited to some degree. So baking in the caloric, I can say, goes better than baking in this cooker. Things can still be baked and turn out fine, but they're going to be a little browner than they would be in the caloric. But I did show in a video how to bake in a basket air fryer, or how to bake well in a basket air fryer, it might be named, how you can bake very well with a basket air fryer and not have to worry about things getting overcooked on top, and you don't need to use any foil or anything. I don't, I try not to use foil, so, or any aluminum, so I try not to, so I didn't use any using the cooker. The roast function works well, so it's good for roasting. Things turned out nice with that. The reheat function also works well, so no issues at all with reheating things. And those are the functions that I use. I think I've shown you the inside plenty of times, so you see that cleaning is pretty easy. Everything's very clean. Turns out well, no problem. All I use is dish soap and water, that's it. You see up top there, no problems. So everything turns out, everything cleans up really well. I know a lot of people get concerned about things splashing up into the heating element. I've never had any major issues with things splashing up like that, but still easy cleaning. No problem cleaning at all. And I talked about in the initial review how you can go about cleaning this cooker, and it's pretty simple. But I want to talk about comparisons of this Gourmia 8-quart digital air fryer with some other similar types of cookers. And I'm going to talk about a couple of other basket air fryers. I'm not going to get into trying to compare this to air fryer ovens and all types of other things. I'm going to compare it to things that are in its class and just do a couple, and it'll give you an idea. But if I don't mention something that you're interested in, then there are, like I said, tons of other reviews here on the channel. Be sure to check them out, and you can basically decide what you prefer for yourself. But this versus the Ninja Foodie 2-basket air fryer, the 8-quart version, the one that has 2 4-quart baskets. I'll say that I prefer just one bigger basket, having used both. That's just been a preference for me. Having one huge basket, I can put like big ramekins and things in. A full-size 9-inch bake pan can fit in here, so I could bake like brownies and whatnot of that sort that I want to cook. I do like almond flour brownies. I've shown that recipe plenty of times. And another one I want to compare with is the caloric 8-quart basket air fryer, which I did some recent reviews of. Basically, between this and the caloric, I did prefer the caloric because it gets a little hotter. It has the metal interior, it gets hotter. I preferred it because it, just got a little hotter. And so things cooked up a little quicker. Now, I do want to mention that basically nothing in the video is sponsored, as I mentioned earlier, but in the video description, there are lots of ways to help the channel, such as my cookbook, merch, membership, donations. Link to Amazon shop. You pay the same price there, but help the channel if you buy through that link. And that's in the video description to the Amazon shop. And so lots of ways to help out. But if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Share the video with a friend. Leave your comments. Subscribe. Hit that notification icon. And good eating.